comes out. And Mike Sepe, you're a prosecutor. Isn't there some way that a prosecutor can deal with a situation like this other than marching through a first-degree murder case?
Well, Fred, that's a tough question. The law generally does not excuse criminal actions of homicide or assault or really anything else by a person who is very emotionally disturbed, even if it's justifiable. The law usually separates a category of people who are so mentally ill or so mentally disturbed, they simply don't comprehend what they're doing at the moment they committed that act. And that is the reason primarily for many states lesser distinctions of manslaughter or murder in the different degrees. While it might be justifiable or understandable possibly in the heat of passion, it's simply not excused by the law.
What do you think is, what might have motivated the prosecution to say, you know, let's work out something so that a little less than 20.5 years would be the result?
Well, I think the reason they came down to that figure in the first place is exactly what you said earlier. They have a person, presumably with no record, who kills a person alleged to have molested her daughter. That is a classic case of momentary rage, of someone who, I think to use the defendant's words, snapped at a precise moment. You're not dealing with a prior felony offender or someone that they think is a career criminal. They can't just excuse it, but they can view it as something of a lesser degree where a plea bargain is the perfect remedy in their minds.
Yeah. Well, what does that do to your case as a prosecutor?
It makes it very difficult. It is going a long way towards the defendant's state of mind as to her legitimate belief that there really wasn't much she could do to protect her child except what she did. And it dovetails nicely with the whole theory that they're trying to outline in this trial.
How do you make the best of that? So what do you say to that?
I think Carmen's right. I think the defense is employing a strategy where it's pick your defense. It's throw everything against the wall and see what sticks and give the jury anything they really can or anything they really want to hang their hat on in order to acquit this defendant.
And is that legitimate? He used the term jury nullification. Prosecutors usually don't like that term.
No, we usually don't.
I mean, is he dressing up jury nullification, which you prosecutors think is lawless conduct, in defense lawyers' legalese?
Well, Carmen is advancing what a good defense attorney does. He is accurately portraying the situation where you may be arguing jury nullification and exactly as you said, Fred, using legal terms about legitimate fear and snapping and things of that nature to sort of justify it. But what it really amounts to at the bottom line is telling the jury the victim was a very bad person who really needed to be killed, and what happened was the right result.
She did it. Prosecution's answer.
The prosecution's answer is that they're really taking it too far. You're trying to take the traditional battered woman's defense to the next step or even several steps beyond. You don't have a situation where someone is battered and is in fear of their life as the result of a possible future battering and therefore has to kill their abuser. You have really defense of another person and not for murder, but possibly of sexual abuse. So it's really sort of pushing the envelope on that defense.
Do you think that's a reach?
I think it's a bit of a reach, but, you know, a smart trial lawyer can make good use of that.
This is the way new theories get developed. Testimony that she tried to get away from this man, Arthur Danner. But our prosecutor thinks that this could be an opening for the prosecution. Michael Sepe.
It's a little dangerous to start throwing out different states of mind, and the defense has now put on evidence that essentially suggests that there may be an element of self-blame in the defendant's mind due to the fact that she allowed herself to dismiss the first child abuse complaint, allowed herself to become reconciled with Danner, and once you start throwing those things in the air, you could wind up hurting yourself. It runs contrary to the theory that she snapped in a moment of rage. If you can have facts out there that suggest you may have been engaged in some self-loathing or some self-blame for what in fact happened to her daughter.
As for now, we'll take a break.